When someone has a passion for what they do, it comes through in the product they provide their customers. Just ask LaRocco's Pizza's new owner, Jason Johnson, about their crust. They make it every day and let it rise for a minimum of 24 hours before they use it for their pizza. And his staff doesn't want to do anything they won't be the best at, and you can taste it in their pizza. LaRocco's Pizza, just a half block north of the I-470 and Gage Boulevard exit. Come taste the difference.
It's the season for brand new mulch, and Brown's Tree Service has got your yard covered. Brown's Tree Service utilizes hardwood mulch that retains more moisture. Not only does mulch make your yard more appealing, it also reduces weeds, improves soil, and creates insulation for plants. Get the right mulch for your job at Brown's Tree Service. They shred it, haul it, and spread it in bulk. Or you can haul it yourself for the personal touch to your property. Call Brown's Tree Service at 785-379-9212 or visit online at BrownsTreeServiceLC.com.
It's time for Real Estate 101 with the Carrie Brown team from Preferred Advisors.
Good Saturday morning to you. This is Carrie Brown, Associate Broker with eXp Realty and the Preferred Advisors team, and you're listening to Real Estate 101. I am back with my significant other, my husband, Troy Brown, owns Brown's Tree Service. Good morning, Troy.
Good morning, Carrie.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How you been doing?
Just peachy.
Selling lots of houses?
Yes. How about yourself?
Nope, haven't sold any houses lately.
You been cutting down any trees?
Yeah. Oh, yes, we were really busy.
This is good, though.
Yep, we put some, with the cooler weather this week, we put some good hours in, try to get caught up some. So we're still running a little bit behind, but we'll get to you if you're on our list. We're still coming.
This is awesome. Catching up's good. So with the weather that's been out there, I know we talked about hurricanes this last time. Getting any closer to us going someplace tropical?
No, not yet.
Dang it.
It's still early, though. But they did expect, they've changed the forecast for the hurricanes this year. They've jumped it up to about 5 more hurricanes than what was expected originally. So it's been a very active hurricane season. They're expecting to get past the name storms that they have and get into the Greek alphabet to name some extra storms, I think is what they said. So that's only happened one other time, and that was the year Katrina hit.
So there's still a possibility of me being someplace warm?
Yeah. What's warm here?
Well, like for the winter.
Well, we'll see if they're gone for the winter or not, but at least part of the fall.
I had some questions that came out of the last show, one of which was Tim that works here at the station. He said, I was walking the dog in the neighborhood, and one of my neighbors had bagworms. Does that mean I'm going to get them?
No. It's hard telling where they'll pop up. There's no way to show that they're moving. The wind blows them a little bit. You may get them. You may not get them. They're pretty much done now anyway. So we've really quit spraying them this week altogether.
So in case you missed it on the last show, you're supposed to pull them off and stomp on them because they're not going away on their own,
nope.
Right?
Correct. If you can reach them, that is an effective way to get rid of them. Just pull them off and throw them in the trash can and pick them.
Yeah, it's just creepy whenever you pull them and there's these little worms crawling out of it. Blech. One of the other questions that I got was, what are good trees to create or bushes to create privacy if I don't want people looking in my backyard?
There's a whole lot of bushes that are working. Viburnum gets around 6 to 7 feet tall. They're not bad. I don't really like them because they itchy.
They're itchy whenever you have to get in them.
You can get some yews. There's some yews out there you can get, but go to Skinner's, and they've got lots of bushes down there that you can look at. You want them as they're nice, and you just got to maintain them a little bit, which all of them you're going to have to maintain. You want to get into a windrow type, eastern red cedar is a good one to use because pine trees that everybody's been using for years are all still dying of pine wilt, and there's no stopping that. So eastern red cedars, red junipers, they're good for a screen like that, windbreak.
That was another question. How do I know if my tree is diseased? What do you look for? Is it just whenever the pine needles show up and they're dead, or
on a
how
pine
do you know?
tree when they get pine wilt, you'll know it in about a year. It takes about a year. It's spread between May 15th into April and in the beginning of May, and that's when it's spread, and then it takes it through the year to start dying and showing up. So, but if you've got a dead one, you really need to get it out before May.
So, is there a way to stop it if you catch it early? Or is there a way to catch it early?
No. Pine wheel. If it gets pine wheel, you're just done.
So, dead tree, dead tree.
Dead tree, dead tree.
So, what do you recommend so that, let's just say you have a line of them and one shows up dead, do you have to assume that they're all going to die?
No, because it's spread. So that one that's in a line got it somewhere in the early spring. So, but it took through the fall for it to start showing up. So you just need to get out before the next spring. Get rid of it is the best way to prevent the spread. So, and don't leave a 4-foot stump because it'll still spread. Them nematodes will come out of that 4-foot stump. So get your stump close to the ground and burn it. Don't create a brush pile and leave your brush pile because they'll come out of that brush pile and spread. So get them cut down and burnt.
So do you burn the trees then and there, or do you haul them away?
Either way. If we cut them down, we'll haul them off, throw them in a pile, and grind up the brush. And once we run it through the shredder, it kills it.
So the other question I had was proper placement. Where should you not put a tree?
Under the power lines. So, I mean, everybody gets mad at Westar for butchering the trees up. But they have to make sure you're going to be even madder at Westar if we have a major storm and you ain't got power for 3 weeks. Then it's going to be Westar's fault, or Evergy now, I guess it is. So they have to do their job to prevent power outages in the future. That's what they're doing. They're maintaining those power lines. So when you plant trees under the lines, make sure it's just an ornamental tree. It maxes out. The height will max out. When you go buy a tree, it'll tell you on the tag that max height of it to get. So the average height and then the max height. Usually they'll give a max on it, at least the average height. So give yourself some leeway. And when you plant a tree, just don't think it's a little bitty thing and it looks cute right there next to the house or the shed. Look at the size chart and look 30 years into the future, how big that tree will be. Do you really want it that close to that structure?
Because roots just keep going until they find water, right? Mm-hmm. We figured that out with our pool.
Roots just grow way out past. Everybody thinks the roots is the same as the drip line of the tree, but they extend way out past that. They're feeder roots, and they're usually harmless. That's where they're getting the nutrients for the tree to grow.
Yeah, we recently ripped up a concrete pad and replaced it with a patio, and Troy was pulling out these great big long roots that were way away from the tree. I mean, they were right up to the house. It was crazy.
It wasn't that far away from the tree. The drip line was still out that way, but it didn't go into the house or the concrete. It just grew in a circle because of the concrete.
It was still, I mean, I guess drip line, yes, but it's still, whenever you look at the thought process of somebody like me that doesn't really, put a whole lot of thought into how far out that root went, to me it looked like it went quite a ways.
It did. So, but not just the root system is what you got to worry about when you're planting the tree. You got to look at the canopy. How big is that canopy going to be? It'll give you a size chart on your canopies that it's a 50-foot canopy. That means it's going to be 25 foot each way the center line of the tree where the trunk is. So you get out 30 feet. Large oak tree is going to get 100 feet tall, 70-foot canopy, 100-foot canopy. So you got to have room for your trees.
True. I mean, looking at ours, you planted a tree whenever our son was little, and it doesn't really dawn on you until you really start adding it up. We've been together 21 years, and that tree's been there at least 19.
I think it's 16 years.
16?
Yep.
You think he was 4?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
So, somewhere around there.
So now it's a pretty good sized tree, but the placement of that tree is awesome because we have this door on our bedroom side, which it used to get hotter than blue blazes on that side of the house. I mean, it seemed like the AC just did not work in our bedroom. I mean, it was just always just a sauna, and that tree has helped significantly.
Yep, both those trees. I mean, those are nice shade trees. That's a sawtooth oak, which grows. It's 15 years old. It's 35 feet tall probably right now.
Mm-hmm. And
it grows fairly quick, and that's on the rock. If you got good soil, it's going to do a little bit better than that even.
Yeah, because we've got just nothing but rock.
So, which it'll grow in rock, it just grows slower.
And we've had a problem with roots getting in the stairs of our pool, too. They just, like little fingers, they just keep going wherever they want to go.
Yep. It grabbed a little bit of, it was leaking around that jet, and if water was getting out, the root went in there for the water.
Mm-hmm. Those suckers are sneaky. Mm-hmm. Next thing you know, you're trying to pull them out. It just gave Troy a reason to put on scuba gear. I think he really wanted to play more than anything.
We need a reason to stick scuba gear on.
We do. We can't leave the country, so we may as well just play in the pool. Okay, so Brown's Tree Service, obviously, it's been quite a while since we've talked about it, but give us the history of Brown's.
My father started it, Brownie. Most people around town will know him. He's still alive and kicking, if you're wondering.
Still as ornery as ever.
So he started it back in the 70s, and I worked with him growing up through high school and got my degree in horticulture in high school. And about 19, 20 years old, I decided I was going to build communication towers for a while, so I went and did that, and he kept the business running with one of my brothers, Travis, and then 20 years ago, you ran into my life.
Slowed him down just a smidge.
Just a little bit. I came off the road from traveling and took over the business from him February 14, 2000.
Yep. I always joke, most girls expect diamonds for Valentine's Day. I got a tree service 20 years ago.
And we've been running it ever since. It's been struggles, but it's really doing well right now.
So speaking of that, I know that you guys are hiring, so let's go on a little bit of that. What are you looking for? What are the benefits? What should people know?
We are hiring basically all level of people. If you're just a beginner and want to get into the arboricultural world, it's real close. It's a real good place to start. We're looking for experienced climbers, bucket operators, grapple truck operators. We'll be looking for people if we leave on a hurricane, maybe. We're looking for extra people if you just wanted to do a little disaster relief. Possibly be looking for a few people there. It's long hours, good pay, benefits. I mean, we're paying 401k, 100% health insurance, your crew vacation time, paid holidays, the 5 holidays. So we got pretty good benefits. I like to think it's a lot better than some of the other ones out there. It's been a challenge, but it's helped a lot. The guys like it. So right now I think we're running about 23, 24 people, and we need some more.
But you guys, I mean, obviously you can always increase the crews, have more, so that would be great.
And that would help with the backlog and get to people a little quicker.
Yeah, so if you know anybody that is looking for it, like my husband was telling somebody the other night, a friend of ours has got a son that is a fighter, and he said just let him know he's going to find muscles he didn't know he had. And he fights professionally and obviously works out a lot. But, yeah, you definitely end up finding out you've got more muscles in places you didn't know you had.
Yep. Well, don't make him use muscles he didn't know he had. So,
hours?
We're working 40 to 50 hours a week, 5.5 days a week. Unless there's a storm, then we'll have to go to 7 days a week. We got a big windstorm or something, we'll have to work 7 days a week.
What about if you go on the road? What kind of hours would they be expecting?
On the hurricane, when you're running about 12-hour days, 7 days a week. So we hit it hard. It'll wait till next week. You got to get it when the getting's good.
And obviously they stay out of town. So the last one you were in Alabama?
Yep, we stayed in Alabama. We worked in Florida, South Florida.
Yeah, that was the one we were talking about last week where he was sending pictures of him in short sleeves and shorts on a golf course, and we had snow. So this year, maybe I get to go since our kids are all, grown up and ditched us. And,
adults.
Yeah.
They are adulting now.
Yeah. Hard to believe we have kids that old, you know it?
Mm-hmm. We don't look a day over 25.
We don't. Just ignore the gray hair and the wrinkles. But, that's just fine. It's pretty hard. We recently, our youngest graduated from high school, and She actually had graduated twice from Washburn prior to graduating from high school, so she's done with school. Actually, she's in college, and then our middle one just moved out on us. Sucker just sneaked it in on us and it's like, see ya. Of course, he's 20. Our oldest is 26, and he's owned a home for quite a while now, but it's definitely weird, just the two of us to...
The house is quiet.
Yeah, except for the dog. She's kind of the boss anyway.
High maintenance.
Very high maintenance. She's cute, though. We're going to take a quick break for a word from our sponsors. We'll be back here in just a few to talk more about trees and what you need to know with landscaping. Thanks for listening to Real Estate 101.
Southwest Topeka has a good neighbor. State Farm agent Jim Garrison, now at 29th and Urish. If your current insurance situation has you going around in circles, get off the roundabout and stop in and meet Jim and his wonderfully efficient staff. Let Jim Garrison give you a quote and make the Garrison comparison. He's confident that with State Farm's competitive rates, the right coverage, and his unmatched service, you'll want to make him your new insurance agent. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there, and Jim Garrison is there for you, northeast of the roundabout at 29th and Urish.
When someone has a passion for what they do, it comes through in the product they provide their customers. Just ask LaRocco's Pizza's new owner, Jason Johnson, about their crust. They make it every day and let it rise for a minimum of 24 hours before they use it for their pizza. And his staff doesn't want to do anything they won't be the best at, and you can taste it in their pizza. LaRocco's Pizza, just a half block north of the I-470 and Gage Boulevard exit. Come taste the difference.
At SportsMomsUnited.com, we celebrate every athlete and support every sports mom. SportsMomsUnited.com is on a mission to put logic back in youth sports. When you ask young athletes why they play sports, their number one answer is fun. For them, that means being on a team, making new friends, having a good time, all of which are awesome memories. We add to the memories by featuring an athlete of the day and sharing their story. Nominate an athlete today at www.sportsmomsunited.com.
Thanks for joining us again. This is Carrie Brown, Associate Broker with eXp Realty and the Preferred Advisors team. And you're listening to Real Estate 101. And I am back with my husband, Troy Brown of Brown's Tree Service. How are you?
I'm doing great this morning.
So, there are other diseases that are out there right now. Which ones should people be on the lookout for?
Well, some of the ones that we really treat on a daily basis right now, we take care of the ash trees. If you got a mature ash tree that you really want to keep, then ash borers moved into Shawnee County a few years ago. They're starting to die, and when they start to die, you need to get a hold of us because they will fall apart pretty quick. They get brittle, and they start dropping branches in a hurry. If you're not wanting to spend the money to save it, just keep it until it starts to see decline and dead in the top. It'll start in the top of the tree and work its way down. It can take up to 3 years to actually kill the whole tree, but it will kill it. So we can treat those. It's a pre-treatment. We can treat it in the first year if we catch it early enough, but if it gets year 2, year 3, it's too late, too far gone. But if you got one, call us. We'll get one of the estimators out, take a look at it, and give you a price on it and see whether we think it's worthy of treating or not. Some of them just ain't worth it. There are too many included bark crotches in them, and they're just not worth the money to spend on them and the commitment.
So whenever you treat them, how long does it take before you start seeing if the treatment works?
Is your tree stays green, the treatment's working.
And if it doesn't, then it didn't.
It's 99% success rate. It's proven. Scientifically proven, 99%. I mean, there's a few, apparently there's 1% of them out there that it didn't work for, but it's a pre-treatment. So all you're doing is preventing the bug from getting in there. It stops the bug from getting in there. We inject into the base of the tree, takes it up, and protects the tree.
What other ones are out there?
So then there's the Dutch elms. If you're one of the few that have a very large American elm, they treat it for the Dutch elm disease that wiped out the city's trees years ago. If you've been around here, you know that used to be a canopy all over town. The elm trees would cover the whole street. You were driving in a tunnel of trees until the Dutch elm disease came in back in the 60s and early 70s. So I can barely remember it as my 25-year-old self. I remember being involved in a few of them as a kid. So, but we're still treating. There's still some large ones out. We're doing some out on the Coppola grounds. We treat those. There's some big ones we're saving. So if you see us out there, that's what we're doing. Keeping them from dying because those are worth it. The whole south side of that Capitol grounds would change if them trees died. So we treat those. And then if you got the oak tree, you'll see yellow leaves in the oak tree. That's usually an iron deficiency, and we can take care of that this fall. So we'll treat those this fall. We put a list together, and the guys go out. And that's a lot of what Brownie's doing right now. So,
see, they still make him work.
Make him. You can't make him stop.
This is true. He's not staying home. He's got to be out doing something.
And then in the spring, we spray the pine trees for tip blight, needle blight in the spring. A little bit of pear rust and apple rust. And we'll spray that in the spring too as well. And then we move right into them nasty bagworms.
So is treating a tree, is that an expensive process?
It depends on the disease. Some of them are a little more than others. The Dutch elm, it's the chemicals drives a lot of the pricing because some of that chemical gets really expensive, or some of it is cheaper. So like spraying for the pine trees, the chemical's not as expensive, so we can do it a little cheaper than what we can do the injection systems. And the injection systems, each one of them taking a new system. So we got these high-dollar systems that we can't use one injection system. We got to have 5 for 5 different chemicals.
Oh, wow. How big of a process is it to spray for the bagworms?
It depends on how many trees you got, really. So how much water we use. We put a new tank on it, so it helped us a little bit when in the middle of the season I was able to put double the size of the water I'm taking, so now I'm running around 600 gallons instead of 3, which helped us quite a bit, especially in the rural areas, because we do a lot of rural area work with these sprayers, especially on the bagworms.
Yeah, I know you guys came to the house even, so, which was good.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, like a plumber doesn't take care of his own plumbing. Yeah. Whenever you start seeing those things swinging around, I was like, okay, you guys have got to come here.
Walk into them, they just show up out of nowhere.
They were like on his sleeve one day. It was crazy. So territory-wise, where all do you guys cover?
All of Shawnee County. We go into Lawrence. We're licensed in Lawrence, and now we just started moving out west some. We're getting into the St. Mary's, Rossville, Wamego area. And probably if you're out in that area, you might have been seeing some of our trucks here lately. So basically, Paul Fiedler from Paul's Tree Service just came on board with us, and he's the sales guy out in that area. So if you're used to using him, he's working with us right now and running that area still. He takes the crews out there and shows them what to do.
And you guys still have Adam on board, right?
Yep, and we still got Adam Mosier, and he runs most of Topeka, and he really don't go out west. He'll go up north. He does a lot of the ones up north, Ozaki area, up in that area. So
there's you, him, and Paul, you, Adam, and Paul that are doing the estimating?
I don't do very much estimating. I do a lot of fire putting out and babysitting.
Welcome to business ownership.
So we go down south, too. We'll run the Carbondale, Osage. We've been down to Osage. It's got to be a little bigger job for us to get all the way out there. So it's tough. Or if you got a little bitty job, you just got to wait till we get out there and do a little job. So if we get a full day, so if you're out in that community and 4 or 5 neighbors want to say, hey, let's get them out here and we all do a job together, then we can come out and each one of you can get a reasonable deal because we're out there for a whole day or 2 days worth of work, and so it works out better for us.
We recently had a client that they had cut down their own pine tree and just happened to ask me if Troy would come out and give them an estimate to remove their pine tree. And whenever he gave them the estimate, they were both just really frustrated with themselves for not calling to do the other one. They were like, it took us weeks to get that down. We hurt and hurt and hurt, or physically we were just beat. And watched these guys come out 2 hours tops. They were done and out gone. So you just never know. Just call. Obviously, the estimates are free.
Yes. So give us a call. I mean, you just got to check. I mean, everybody's on a tight budget, but sometimes you're like, wow, for $300, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
For $800, I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
I mean, we know I'm bad about it too. I don't get estimates sometimes. I just do it yourselfer, and sometimes it's like the garage insulation because I hate insulation. it was cheaper for me to pay them to do it than it was to buy the insulation. I was like, get it done.
Yeah, and I didn't have to listen to him complain about itching. Every once in a while, he'll buckle and he'll call and let somebody else do it. But this is the guy that put in a pool by himself and has been you've put several pools in since. There really isn't too much around our house that we've actually contracted out.
No, it's nice to contract it out sometimes.
It is. He said if I ever have to do this again, we're paying somebody.
Sanding the floor was a good decision when we had it done.
Absolutely. Out of curiosity, what other things would you want people to contact you for that maybe they don't know you do?
Well, there's probably several things, like all the treatments we just discussed, the pruning, the removals, the stump grinding. We've moved into topsoil and mulch. We've actually occasionally will come out and go ahead and install your topsoil for you, but we prefer to just deliver it and let you do it yourself on the topsoil end. We're so busy with the rest of the work, it's hard to squeeze that work in. So if you're in a huge rush, you might want to just have us deliver it and then spread it yourself. The mulch, we will spread your mulch for you too. It's just another one of those things that we got to get more help in. So that's the things that we have to say, well, we can't really squeeze in right now. So,
but obviously can deliver.
Yep, we can deliver. We usually get our deliveries done in the morning and then take them out and put them back on a crew or stump grinding, or I do the deliveries. Right now I'm doing a lot of the deliveries myself. So that way we got the production guys out doing production work. But the mulch we're just doing the double ground hardwood mulch right now through the fall, and hopefully by spring we're going to have the colored mulch. So we'll be grinding and coloring the mulch out. And again, you can pick it up there at 2900 Button Road too. So that's the address out there. Call us and let us know when you're coming out, and we'll make sure there's someone there to load you.
What's your phone number?
785-379-9212. BrownstreeServiceLC.com is our website. You can even fill out, hey, I need 10 yards of dirt. There's an estimate sheet in there you can fill out if you just want an estimate. You ain't got time to call, and it emails it into Mom, and then she gets it out to Adam and Paul.
And you can do contactless ordering online and paying too, correctly?
Yeah, you can pay with a credit card and just tell us where to dump it when you want it delivered, and you don't have to come out because of the COVID thing if you're worried. It's better for the guys that way too, because then we ain't got to worry about the guys getting in contact, or me, because I don't want COVID either.
So you can do it all online.
Yeah, BrownstreeServiceLC.com. And the yardage thing, if you want to pay, I mean, you'll have to call on the credit card to pay. I don't think there's a pay spot on the website, but you can put the order in and we can get you taken care of. And
again, territory-wise?
We're swinging way out west now. We're getting into St. Mary's, Wamego, up in that area. Rossville, Silver Lake, all through there. We're moving into Holton a little bit. We got licenses into Holton. So Holton, and then up north, Ozaki area. Lake Village, we've been up there for several years going up in that area. We've been up to McLeod. Last year we moved into McLeod, but again, you're getting a little far out there. Heck, we even went to Leavenworth this year for a couple of jobs. So Lawrence, we do Lawrence, and then we move in, you go down south, just make that circle. Osage, Carbondale, Overbrook. It's a pretty good spread. Yeah. Speaking of which, I do all the same things, but I do it with real estate. I go right up to the Missouri border. I also go as far north. I like to stay somewhere Holton area. I have gone to Netawaka. And then south, I can go. I prefer not to go all the way to Emporia, but definitely Osage City, Burlington's down there. And then I go as far west as Junction City. So real estate-wise, got you covered. Northeast Kansas. If you're looking to buy or sell, be sure and give us a call at 785-213-5188. Check out our website at preferredadvisorsteam.com. And if they're looking for tree work, they call where? 785-379-9212. And your website is? BrownstreeServiceLC.com. So we got you covered, house and trees.
Thank you for listening to Real Estate 101 with the Carrie Brown team from Preferred Advisors.